Okay, guys, welcome to today's live trading event and some narrative on expiry. Hope you are all well. Got quite a few of you in the room today, which is great. We've done about 4 of these sessions now, and pretty much all the trades have won. So hopefully we get a trade today and we can connect at the open. But before we start kicking off into the live trading, I just wanted to cover the expiry event that is coming up on Friday. So expiry is one of our favorite lifestyle trades. It's a trade that we've been trading for over a decade now. It's a trade that we trade live with our clients. We have lots of occasions where we've been in a room, we've made over $40,000 trading this live with our clients. It's a trade that you can do once a month and generate a nice income. So what I want to talk about is basically what's going on Friday, and also how we can use this information this week to take advantage of it. Because the first thing we need to know about expiry is that when it happens on Friday, there's usually a breakout move. But the events leading up to Friday, the market can be fairly static and range bound, and we can take advantage of that. So in the coming days leading up to expiry, today included, I will be looking to buy or sell back towards 7,600. Okay, so that's going to be my edge this week. I know it's unlikely we're going to see a breakout, and if we do see a breakout, I'll be taking advantage of that and trading it back up to 7,600. So we'll talk about a little bit that into the live trading in about 10 minutes. But certainly we find a lot of retail traders out there these days, they just focus on technical and fundamental analysis. And that really is it. You'll find if you go on the internet, you'll read books, you'll get all these gurus. All they do is they rehash the same technical analysis. And yes, technical analysis has its place, but the problem is if technical analysis is that good, and remember, technical analysis is what all the brokers teach. If it's that good, why is everyone struggling to make money from trading? So that's the argument I'm putting through the system this morning, is that you need to be doing something different to make consistent money in the markets. And it shouldn't just be technical analysis. You've got to have a basic understanding of that, but it's not going to make you long-term gains by just doing that. You just don't have a big enough edge. So what we do here at Magnetic Trading is we are using market function. So market function is the premise behind what is going on to drive the market in the first place. Events and actual movements within the market. So I'll give you an example of this. Each day the market will close. It will have a closing price. The next day it will open. I'm sure you've heard about a gap, but that's an area in the market where no trade has been facilitated. So the markets exist in the first place to match up buyers and sellers. So in the example of the gap, where we've recognized that there's an area in the market where no buyers and sellers have been matched up, and therefore the market's likely to go back to that level. Okay, so that's the premise of market function. It's identifying areas in the market where no buyers and sellers have been matched up on the basis that we know it's likely to go back to that area, because that's the reason markets exist in the first place. They don't like leaving areas where no trade has been facilitated for too long. And we certainly have a lot of very, very high probability systems based on this. And one of them is expiry. So what's going on with expiry is that every third Friday of a calendar month, options will expire. We do not trade options here at Magnetic Trading. We're not taking advantage of that. But what we're taking advantage of is that the June option is going to expire, and that's going to create some price movement for about 5 minutes where no buyers and sellers have been matched up. And we're going to take advantage of that. Because remember, the markets are efficient. So if they are starting to do something where no buyers and sellers have been matched up, it's likely to retrace back to that area. So what we're doing is every third Friday, we'll come to our trading platform and we will log on into the FTSE 100 and we will literally be looking for something to happen at 10 past 10 UK time. It lasts about 5-10 minutes. Now, as I said, we've been trading this trade for over a decade now. It has an over 80% win rate, which is incredible for that amount of time. It trades once a month. It's extremely easy to execute and understand. It works in bull and bear markets, which is important because you need something that's recession-proof these days. You don't want to be at the mercy of central banks and economic news and changes that can turn markets bearish and bullish. You need to be making money either side. And that's the great thing about expiry. It doesn't really matter what's happening in the world. This trade just works. Another really great thing about this particular trade, and I used to work in the banks, is that the banks can't take advantage of this trade because they can't take, they can't get the liquidity. So we're actually into this trade pretty quickly and we're out of it pretty quickly. And there isn't the volume on the FTSE 100 for big capital injections to come in and get out that quickly. So again, it's really, it's a beautiful trade for us retail traders out there, home traders, to really take advantage of. So let's just look at some examples. So why does it work? Well, again, at 10 past 10, we're going to see a big price movement. I'm going to show you an example in a second. And we're really expecting that price movement to retrace back to the 10 past 10. It takes about 5 minutes. So here's some examples. This trade sets up every month. So you can see here on this example, the expiry starts at 7,400. It moves on up. I can't give you the proprietary system on this one because that wouldn't be fair to others. All I can say is we have a proprietary reason to get in. We have a proprietary stop, and we're looking for this price movement to retrace. Why are we looking for this to retrace? Well, it's because no buyers and sellers have been matched up and markets are efficient. Therefore, they're likely to move back down again to the 10 past 10 price. So it's a really great opportunity in the markets. It's a great trade that you don't need much time. You can strap it onto your own trading systems or strategy. And I would really encourage you this Friday, even if you don't want to get involved with this, to look at the price action at 10 past 10 and see what happens. The price action can move down, or it can move up, or it can move up and down several times during the 5-minute window. But in this example, it's moved up. So our system tells us exactly when to sell. And then we're looking for a full retrace back down to the 10 past 10 price. If we look at some more examples on this, we can see in this example, it's the opposite. It's moved down. We get the expiry event that comes down. This is from March, which was also a quarterly event. And then it's retraced back up again. So our system's told us exactly when to get in, where to put the stop, and we're targeting the full retrace back on this one. So it's very, very simple, but extremely effective. And what we do is we trade this live, a little bit like the webinar setting we're in now. I'll be in a live room and we will trade this live together. So here's another example. In this example, the market has again pushed on up and then it's retraced. This was from April. I mean, we can pick up examples non-stop on this. This was May. So this was the last month's expiry. We can see that it's pushed on up here and then it's retraced. So likelihood is we will get a trade on June. before we start the live trading today, I would like to invite you into this particular trade. It's super cheap for what you get because you have this for life. You can trade this every month for the rest of your life, really. It's based on, as I said, market function, which is totally different to probably what anything that you've used before. It's incredibly high win rate. And the bonus is you will get to trade this live for a full year with me as well. So you get the full rules of the trade, and then you come in and we'll hold your hands and you'll have the confidence to trade this with us because you'll be with us trading live. I think that's very important as well. Here at Magnetic Trading, we don't just give you a system or some rules or a 2-day weekend course and then expect you to trade profitably. We do understand that clients need their hands holding sometimes for their confidence. So that's why, again, we strap on the live trading for this for a whole year to make sure that you are capitalizing on all the trades. So if you want to take advantage of this one, as I said, it sets up on Friday. You've got plenty of time to get the rules, get yourself all sorted out. You can get involved. It's 50% discount, so it's £1,000 or $2,000. It's a great way to start getting into trading. And as I said, it includes that bonus. So if you're interested in that one, type in expiry now, and we can get some information sent out to you. And you can basically get involved this Friday, and we'll trade it live together. And as I said, there's an 80% chance we will be making some great money on that. And then month after month, we'll be trading it live with you as well. So you can type in now and we'll get back to you guys. Now, let's move on to the live trading today. I'm just going to change my screen. What we're seeing on the markets this week, again, if I go to a 4-hour chart, we've seen the markets pretty much swilling around, which is very typical ahead of expiry. So you can see we're range bound, which is, again, very much what we're expecting leading up to expiry. We're trading below yesterday's close. So yesterday's close was 75.94. We're trading at 75.76. What I'm interested in this morning is last week's lowest price, which actually ties in with a daily support level. So take a note of this one, 75.45. 75.45. As long as we hold above there, then there is a very good likelihood we're going to go back and fill the gap today at 75.94. Okay, so 75.94, yesterday's closing price. 75.45 is the lining in the sand for that. And I would use, for those of you that know us a little bit more, I'd probably use acceptance below there. So I'll explain what acceptance is if we get a trade. But that's the first thing I'll be looking at. So potentially I'll be looking at a quick move down today, which we may well buy, and we may well have our stops below 75.45, targeting 75.94. So that's kind of my favorite trade at the moment. I'm also not opposed, if we're opening where we are now, if we quickly move up to 75.94 to 7,600 very quickly, we may well sell, and I'll have a 20-point stop and we'll have a 20-point target. So there's a couple of trades we're looking at based on the fact that I think the market's going to stay range bound ahead of expiry. So it will either, if we move on down just after the open, we'll probably buy it with stops below 75.45, targeting the gap close. The other one is if we do open and we spike up, we may well sell with a 20-point stop target. So we'll watch the open and I'll guide you through it. And I'll tell you if we're trading, but do get some tickets ready, and you'll need to work out your risk. So I would basically basically get your risk calculation based on 20 points, guys. And that's what we'll be using. So that's the FTSE. And if we don't get those trades, we'll look at the 5-minute bar strategy as well. So let me just hand you over to Cameron as well now, so he can talk to you about the DAX as well to see what's going on there.
Thanks, Mark. All right, so look, the DAX just opening below yesterday's close at the moment. Being a little bit more cautious today, we do have the Fed announcement later on, whether the Fed are gonna pivot, if they're going to continue tightening. This is what everybody's waiting for. So we could see a little bit of consolidation happen at the open today. What I'd like to see, it's a little bit of a long way off, but we've been up to the highs at 16,330. I want to see those highs get taken out. We're currently trading 16,208. We get those highs taken out, we'll look for reversals, and then we'll look to start selling the market ahead of the news. Now, let's see if that happens. If it doesn't happen, we'll let the news come out and we'll get trading tomorrow. We'll also have a look at the 5-minute bar today as well as the FTSE and see where we go from there. I guess in the meantime, if you guys have any questions, you can fire them in. We're about 3 minutes away from the market open, and we can get those answered.
So let's see how we open. As I said, gap close likely today. We are starting to push up a bit, which is not what I really wanted, but there you go. I would have preferred we were in the 75-70 area and then a spike down. So I'm always looking for areas where people might get stopped out. So, for example, yesterday's lows down at 75.56. It's where usually people put their stops. That would be interesting for me if we drop below there very quickly. As they get stopped out, I basically look to buy. So taking the reverse side of the trade to a lot of people's stops down there. Got to stay on a 5-minute chart. All right, we are opening, looking like we're going straight for the gap on this one. So if we can drop, I want this to drop at least 20 points. So I want this below 75.70 if we're going to buy it. So it does need to move down more. And I'll be looking for reason guides to buy. And the reason again for below 75.70, that's below the overnight lows. So again, there might be some stops down there that people are using. Maybe they bought already and they're putting a tight stop below 75.70. So again, that's why I want it below there. Now remember, my stop is below, it's going to be below 75.45. So I do need to make sense of it as well in terms of the risk reward. So again, that's why I want it below 75.70. But yeah, if we drop below 75.70, guys, we'll be looking to buy. I'll tell you when to buy. We'll have a stop below 75.45, and I'll be looking for a move back up to 75.94 to 7600. Again, we do have the Fed announcement today, so things could be a little bit slow. Trying to push down, but we haven't got below 75.70 yet. Whilst we're watching this, if you guys have got any questions on anything to do with the markets, you can put them through as well. If you've got any questions on the expiry trade setting up on Friday, let me know. Whilst we wait to see if the FTSE does take out this 75.70 level for us. Right, guys, so at the moment, no move below 75.70. We will watch this for another 10 minutes, see if it sets up. If not, I will leave you an instruction today as well in terms of what we can be looking at for a trade. I'm probably, those of you that sometimes join me in the live room, probably not going to use the 5-minute bar strategy today, just because we're going into a low volume environment. So it's not great for breakouts. And that's why I'm looking really for false breaks today. But it will be interesting to see if the 5-minute bar breaks down. takes out that 75, 70 level, and we get a reversal. So let's see. Whilst we're waiting, guys, how many of you are very new to trading? Like less than a year of experience? Type into the room. I just want to get a gauge on how much experience in trading you guys have. But if you've got less than 1 year experience, or you're very new to magnetic trading, maybe you just come across us, let me know. Just interested to know who we're talking to. Okay. A few of you less than 1 year. So this is really slow action here, as we can see.
Yeah, well, market's pushing higher at the moment. It's broken out of the 7 to 8 a.m. range. Just see where it goes. Has got a little bit of resistance up at 16,242. So that's where our levels are at. So yeah, going into that might be difficult. Let's see. I think we need to see a bit more of the DAX action. They also, as well, I would have liked to see the DAX had it's broken out a little bit. If it broken the low of the opening 5-minute bar and reversed, that would have been quite good as well. Let's see. At the moment, things are looking fairly bullish, but no trade for me as such as yet.
All right, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you with some trade instructions on the FTSE. And that really is that if we get a drop below 75.70 in the next couple of hours, so up to around 10 a.m., ideally, I'd like it sort of down to 75.65. You can look to buy the FTSE with a stop below 75.45, and you can look to trade it back up to 75.90. Okay, so I'll just repeat that. So it's in the next 2 hours. If we get a drop below 75.70, you can buy the FTSE with a stop below 75.45 and target 75.90. Has anyone got any questions on that? Any questions on that, guys? Valid for the next couple of hours. So you can always put some alerts on the trading platform. Of course, ideally, I would have liked, these sorts of trades I like to happen, pretty quickly, but I think the action's just slow today because markets are waiting for that Fed announcement later on. So I'll let you guys just type in any questions that you may have on that. As the 5-minute bar, I'm not touching today. This is some of you may have learned the 5-minute bar strategy. I'm not going to take that today. It looks like it is going to break up, but for me, it's not a favorable day for me for taking the 5-minute bar. So I'm going to leave that one alone today. So I'm just checking for questions, guys. Again, if you've got any questions, now's the time to ask us. It doesn't have to be on this price action, but I've got about another 5 minutes where I can take any questions from you before we close off the room. So if you've got any questions on the markets, you got any questions on the expiry event coming this Friday, market function, 5-minute bars, do let me know. Lee's saying, what about if it breaks above the close? Yeah, I'm not looking for breakout moves leading up into expiry, Lee. So once expiry is out the way on Friday, I'll look for breakout moves. But it's just not a high probability trade for me today to look for a breakout. Notice as well, FTSE has come back and traded the close. So again, what we do for our clients each day, I'll just show you what we do. But let me just bring this up. So what some of you that may have been into the gap strategy as well, we identify when the gap is good or not good today. You'll see that gap data today, we literally just tell our clients if it's good or not today. So today the comments are literally it should fill. There was no reason that the gap shouldn't fill today based on the market environment. So again, just another example of market function coming in there and filling that gap, especially on a day where we're just consolidating. So a lot of people get hung up that, you know, they want to get involved with markets which are trending, or you're seeing these 1% to 2% moves in the day. Actually, there's a lot of money that can be made from just boring markets, to be honest. If the markets are boring, don't discount them. You can still make good money. Can we sell around 7,600? Problem is I don't have. So, okay. So the premise today was I really wanted to see the drop early on to target where we are now. That was really my agenda today. I'd already identified the gaps likely to fill. Then I'm basically saying I want to see it drop below the overnight lows to take out some stops, and then I want to buy it. So that's my trade construction. When it gets up to these levels, I just don't really have a reason to be selling. Yes, we are in a range bound environment, but I don't have any obvious targets to be targeting below us now to sell. So yeah, it's not on the plate trade plans, right? Unfortunately. The core broker we use is Go Markets, Adrian. Go Markets, yeah. I think maybe if you guys are looking at different prices, you might be on a futures contract. You might not. Make sure you're looking at FTSE cash. FTSE cash is what you want to be looking at. You don't want to be just looking at a futures contract. You'll get a different price. So it's always cash, guys. That's probably why you're getting different pricing. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you with the trade today. That drop below 75.70. It may or may not set up. I don't know, but hopefully you got an insight into how we're constructing our trades today. Today was really about the gap. It was about taking those stops out as well, and then looking to buy in this range-bound environment. We'll be back for another free session in a couple of weeks, guys. We hope to see you, some of you trading the live expiry event on Friday. Again, we'll be in a live room. There's an 80% chance of that making money. So we'll see some of you. Again, if you want to join, just let us know. You can always email me, mark@magnetictrading.com, and we'll get you involved with Friday. Been a pleasure talking to you guys. And I said we'll be back in about a couple of weeks for another free session.